Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to extend this warm facilitation to the organizers of this event, Free Knowledge Africa. The theme of this conference is both timely and relevant to the 21st century that we are in. Building an open future, how Nigeria can maximize its cultural heritage in the modern world.
At Nigerian Copyright Commission, we are deeply committed to fostering a copyright system that strikes right balance between protection and access. We recognize a thriving public domain supports national development by expanding opportunity for research, education, and creative industry.
But more important was the concern of access, because if we don't have access to knowledge, we cannot create, we cannot innovate. Innovation will actually die.
And I think when we're talking about cultural heritage, I think we're looking a lot in the context of indigenous peoples and the knowledge, what we normally call traditional knowledge, or in the context of copyright, you might hear it more as traditional cultural expressions. Now let me start by saying that WIPO, as you may have heard, is a specialized agency, and I have to start with that if you don't mind. It's a specialized agency of the United Nations, and our work is to lead the development of a balanced and fair intellectual property system that works for everybody. So the focus of our work is really about intellectual property.
We started to believe that to sound educated, we must forget our mother tongue. To be modern, our stories must sound foreign. That's how we became fluent in global languages and culture, but illiterate in our own cultures. So this project, Introduction to Digital and Oral Storytelling for Multilingual Literacy and Creative Expression, began with one question: how can we reclaim storytelling as a tool for learning, creativity, and cultural survival? I'll leave you with this thought. When we open our stories to the world, we are not giving them away, we are giving them life. Thank you.
The Open Domain Conference is an amazing conference, I must say, that I would, as a youth advocate, tell other young people to take cognizance of, because these are places where we nourish ourselves. What stood out for me today at the event was the fact that I was able to really understand that even copyright has a 70 years lifespan, even after which the author is gone. I think that's very generous.
Collaborating with Free Knowledge Africa has been a passionate thing in my heart. And for the past 1 year, we've been doing it together. And I'm excited for the success of this event. Every section of this event was very impactful.
One aspect of the session today that stood out for me was the aspect of digital archiving. I think we are actually in a stage in this country where we actually need to digitize some past events that I've always had. So, and I think this will help us solve a lot of cultural issues as well.
So I was a speaker panelist at the first public domain conference, and I think first of all I am glad it exists. I actually was pleasantly surprised by how much I learned, especially around just how to think about IP and categories of works.
This is my first experience attending a public domain conference, and as a storyteller, I have come to realize that I need a broader idea of what copyright is and how to digitalize indigenous works. I work between the frames of folk tales, memory, spirituality, and knowing that just taking these stories orally and digitalizing them is not enough, but understanding what copyright is and how to effectively use it within the public domain space.